Hello and welcome back to Nerd News Today Toy Fair 2021. This is Matthew, and joining us now on the other side of the screen, we have from Forbidden Figurines, Alyssa. Alyssa, how's it going today?
It's going good. I'm finally here.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. You're a little bit newer, I think, for in terms of wrestling products I've been buying. Like I'm a big fan of a lot of independently made things, and I recently found out about Forbidden Figurines from a Facebook group I'm in. So I ordered myself the big green belt. I ordered myself an ECW belt, and I was blown away by how amazing they are. Yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about those belts. But first things first, I gotta ask you, what was your favorite toy as a kid growing up?
Oh my god, I don't know. I was into like weird mechanical stuff like remote control cars, and probably I would say Lego was my forever favorite. It's still like not when I was a kid, but like I love it now. So probably I would say Lego.
Now, were you a big wrestling fan growing up as a kid too?
No, I actually grew up. I'm Eastern European, and I came to US 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and I had no idea about wrestling at all till like probably 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I mean, I briefly knew probably who was Hulk Hogan because I saw the pictures. Yeah, but there's no such thing as wrestling where I'm from, and it's like it's non-existent. It's probably only existent as like real Olympic sports. Yeah, but that's about it.
So then on that note, if you're, kind of new to pro wrestling, were you a pro wrestling toy collector at all up until that point, or are you one at all right now?
I started collecting, not gonna lie to you, I started collecting Menton card 3 months ago.
Okay, wow. So it's real
It's
new.
like
So
such a weird thing for me to do because I never actually collected anything in my life. So I'm getting into it.
yeah, I was curious about that because I'm wondering, like a lot of times you see folks who are doing this type of thing, making accessories for wrestling figures, and a lot of them were like into customizing wrestling toys, but you're
Mhm.
basically brand new to this. So did you ever do any customizing of your toys when you were a kid?
No, I mean I never even heard of it. Like this is such a random thing to do. I first got into doll customizing 2 years ago. I was customizing like Barbie dolls and stuff like that. So that's where it all started. And then I think I started customizing figures, wrestling figures, in probably February this year. Accidentally, I had to fix a figure for someone else, and I basically started doing them on a daily basis. Then I got into a customizing contest, and that really boosted me up pretty much because every 2 weeks we were producing new customizing figure, and yeah, but I was never into like customizing anything. I mean, I would cut my Barbie's doll hair. I don't know if that's customizing.
I
That's
think that counts. Yeah, I'd say that counts. So yeah, you're relatively new then to the world of pro wrestling toys, which is pretty cool, pretty interesting. Also, that you went from that to starting Forbidden Figurines, which I guess was that like a pandemic project for you?
sort of, I wouldn't say I was doing much before that. It all started from sculpting. I wanted to learn 3D sculpting, so I got myself, 3D printer and the tablet, and I was trying to learn it. And I was like, I'm gonna do accessories for dolls, but then that never happened. And I started sculpting faces. So probably my first sculpt was Walter that I did, and then I did Rhea Ripley, and then people were like, "Oh, are you selling it? Can I get it?" I was like, I wasn't sure first because I was like, I don't know if it's good or not. I know nothing about customizing work pretty much at that point. I was like, sure, you can buy it. Yeah. If you like it, you can have it. And then people started asking me, like, oh, can you do this? Or can you do that? Can you do Great Muta? Or can you do like there are a lot of wrestlers that never had their figures and they would never have. So I was like, yeah, sure. It was interesting for me to be able to, first of all practice my skills in 3D sculpting and being able to, you know, not like sell something, but give people something that they wanted. That was really satisfying.
Yeah, I'm a little bit curious of you. And actually, before I even ask you any questions, I just want to put your belts over a little bit more because, yeah, I got to talk about like the detail in these. So I've bought customized belts from the people in the past, some with leather, some with 3D printing, but the level of 3D printing you've got, the quality is so crisp and so clean. The leather as well, it's cut so perfectly. Like I can tell there's definitely a lot of love, a lot of passion into these items. They're some of the best things I've ever seen. And when I got that big green belt, in fact, I didn't know there's little tiny actual emeralds and diamonds studded into it. So I mean, you're doing some amazing work here. It's super level of detail.
That's kind of my thing because I'm a girl, so I guess I like pretty things. So I just try to put pretty things everywhere I can. Of course, like with little gems, you need to be able to that on that scale so it doesn't look, like there's a belt like this and then there's the gem the same size. So I'm trying to scale. Some belts I don't put gems in because it just looks ridiculous. It looks like gems are bigger than the belt itself. But I think on Big Green it was like such a perfect fit, and I was able to get all the colored, you know, uh, diamonds and stuff to put them in. And it's like it's one of my probably favorite belts in terms of prettiness.
That's a good way
Because
to
it's
put
such
it.
a simple belt. It's nothing. It's like it's a golden plate. There's nothing on it, and
Yeah.
it's like beautiful diamonds everywhere.
It's kind of like an oversized eyesore in real life, but the way you made it, it's so perfect. And that's like always one of the belts I've always wanted to have a toy of. So yeah, getting your version especially, it's just such a knockout. So yeah, so
Yeah,
well
it
done
was
job there.
it was so hard to try to fit all those little side plates in there because like with time there were like 4 plates on each side, and there were like 5 plates on each side. It was like how it just keeps going, like it was like this long, so I had to like keep condensing it to the point when you can still like my goal when I make belts, you still need to be able to see certain amount of detail. Like if there's a name there, I would like name to be readable. I just don't want it to be, like blank. The your text is here. It's like it should be readable. So sometimes in terms of scale, yeah, I would say it's a little bit bigger than it is in real life in terms of scaling, but you can see details. I'd rather go for detail than for like correct size. Unless it's like 1-2 millimeters is not that a big deal.
I think that's a good way to look at it. And yeah, I'm here raving about the big green, but you've got a whole other list of belts. So can you run down some of the belts that you're selling right now?
Oh, they're actually right here. uh, the whole uh, the whole bunch of them. So I have some impact belts. So I have tag belt and I have X division. I have AAA belt. I have AWA belts. I have ECW belts. Uh, what else? I have Lucha Underground belt and Gift of the Gods. Gift of the Gods was the biggest project for me. It took me a month probably to make it, tracing by hand each every detail of that. It was like very time consuming, and printing it out, like I don't know how many printed files I had. It was terrible. What else do I have? I have some NXT UK titles. So I have their tag team title as well. And then I have FTW. I recently made TNT, so the current TNT on the belt, on the black strap, and I have the same one on the red strap. Last belt that I made is Big Gold Belt, which is also a very beautiful belt. It's also has red, diamonds around it. It's very beautiful belt.
Yeah, I was very excited to see that big gold also because I know this is now you're actually custom printing people's names onto that belt, which is an amazing idea.
It was a random thing to do because people started, oh, is it going to be with Stink? Is it going to be Ric Flair? It's like, you know what? You want Stink, you want Ric Flair? I'll give you all. I'll give you and Stink and Ric Flair. If you want to put your name on it, you can put your name on it. Have your own personal big gold belt. So it's hard. Like people started asking like, why don't you make removable plates? Which is a great idea. And I thought about it, but it's just impossible on that scale because it's just the thickness of the plate is around like millimeter and a half. And anything that's going to be put in and out of that plate is going to be done for a long time. And it's just, you have to sacrifice certain things. And uh, I have to sacrifice mobility, I guess, of that. Yeah, but it's fun thing to do. I have like 6 different nameplates with on Big Gold now. Some people put their name, so oh.
Yeah, I'm not putting my name on that belt anytime soon. I don't think I deserve that honor, but it's a really cool idea that you're doing. I think it's great. And yeah, so I'm kind of curious though. I mean, we kind of see that pile of belts you've got right there. Can you talk to us about like the process of making a belt and how long it takes you to actually make each of these belts?
Yeah, sure. It depends. It actually depends on complexity. Um, it can be up to like 10 hours. Sometimes I can, you know, whip it up in 5 hours. Some belts like Gift of the Gods, it just took me almost a month from sketch to completion. It starts with sketch or line work. You know, I recently teamed up with Hellfire Designs guy in UK, and he makes all those belt designs, makes great line work for, and like I know a lot of people use it in like computer games. Like you can like put in textures and stuff like that. And anyway, but I use his line work as the base for my belt, and then I make 3D model of it. And it's also depends, like if it's more detailed, if I have to split it in multiple layers to get, you know, to get a 3D belt, not like flat belt, it would take more time. Plus the more side plates you have, the more work you have, you know. It's like Gift of the Gods have seven different plates, so took forever. Then from 3D model we go to 3D print in a test model. So I 3D printed, I see the scale, like I put it on the figure, I see if it's too big, if it's too small, like do I lose any detail? If I need to accentuate something, I would go back, I would switch the original design, you know, I'll change the 3D model and I will reprint it again. So that takes quite some time. And then from 3D printing, I cure the model, and then I can paint it. And then with painting, it's the other thing, because it's like I've developed such a complex system of painting, but it works for me, you know. I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe there's an easier way to do it, but I'm really pro quality, and I use really high end, you know, professional paints and sealers. And also going back to 3D printing, I recently upgraded myself. I got myself 4K 3D printer. I actually got two of those. So I was just amazed, like how much quality of my plates improved. It was amazing. I printed the same plate on my regular printer on 4K printer. I was just like, it's crazy. So from after I paint plates, I go on to the strap. So I make the sketch of the belt on paper, and basically like a shape, and I put it on the leather and I stitch around it. So all my belts are. I used to hand stitch them. I make like, I don't know, 70 belts a week now. And I used to, when I just started, I was making 10 and I was hand stitching all of them. It was just such a waste of time. So I switched to machine. First of all, it gives me very consistent quality and it's much faster. So yeah, and then I remove this and I cut out the shape of the belt from the leather and I glue on the plates. After I glue on the plates, I add the little studs that imitate, you know, snaps on the belt, and add Velcro. I put it in an envelope and I ship it on to you.
Yeah, I even forgot to mention those studs because that was something that also really impressed me. 'Cause I didn't know that was going to be like that. So yeah, level of detail in this, and clearly the level of passion that you have for this, it really shows in it. So we also got to talk now about something else you're doing with these belts, and that's you're starting a subscription service, right?
Yeah, I just started it last week or last week. It's a monthly belt subscription. It's something that I'm trying out. I don't know how it's gonna go because, you know, it's kind of weird random thing to do for wrestling belts, I guess. But you know, if you can get a wine subscription, food subscription, why can't you get belt subscription? But it's not only just like belt subscription, it gives you opportunity to see how belts are made, because once you subscribe you get an access to my blog, uh, where I'm gonna literally step by step show the process of how I'm working on that belt. And each month subscribers would be choosing which belts they want to be made this month. So, for example, in January we had like four different belts, and people chose which belt they want to make. I'm not going to say which one is that for now because it's a secret. Yeah, so each month we're gonna, rotate belts, or if people want to get those that weren't chosen months before, we would bring them back. But it's also like I want to build a community. I want people to know why products cost this much and how much work goes into it, and so people can appreciate the handwork. Because a lot of I think a lot of customizers, a lot of handmade items are not appreciated as much as they're supposed to be. So it's really a chance for me also get in touch with my people who buy my product, and tell them how much I appreciate them, and give them a chance to participate in what I'm doing. So I think it's very interesting. I mean, it's not a new concept, right? But it's interesting in terms of like what area of expertise that is.
We should add too, for the most part, your belts are priced, I think, very well considering all the work that's going into these and how much detail is in these belts. Because basically the range, I think the cheapest one starts at 25. I think the most expensive is the Gift of the Gods. But even then, we're talking about the subscription service, and I want to stress that this is a $20 a month service. That's $20 a month to get a belt that would probably normally be more money. So that sounds like a bargain to me.
Yes, but there's also a lottery because you might not always get the belt you voted for. You'll have to get a belt that someone else voted for. So it's not like fair to everybody, but life's not fair. Uh, but yeah, I think $20 is a great price also to get people interested. Some people like you said, you found me on Facebook. I don't even like take care of my Facebook. I uploaded belts there 6 months ago. I never touched it again. I mostly base everything on Instagram and my promotions and stuff, but there's sometimes some random people finding me through someone, or like, I don't know, it's weird. And I just want to be, I want people to, tell your friends like, oh my God, there's like $20, you get awesome belt, and I don't think I should charge more just because it's something special. I base my prices on how much work, how much time it takes to produce that belt, and how much work had to be put in. So if it's if there's more than one color on the plate, it's going to be more time. If it's diamonds there, it's going to be more time. If it's 7 plates versus like AWA belt has 3 plates, it's going to be more money because it's more expensive to produce it. It's not because it just make up, oh, this one is going to be 40, this one is going to be 20. No, it's I try to uh, price them accordingly to what it cost me to make them. So yeah, it's normally from 25 to 35.
I think it's
Gift of
totally
the
worth the
God.
price. I mean, I think it's a great price to be honest, even as it is, because again, these things are amazing. Like you might think at first like it's going to cost you more than an elite figure or even an ultimate edition, but this thing's going to look way better in your ultimate edition figure than whatever they're packaging in there with Mattel already. So yeah.
I have such a big issue with Mattel belts. Uh, I don't know how a company who can like print the face on the figure can't print the belt. And I know it's probably not their main concern, on producing belts, but I wish they made something like, like they have ultimate figures.
Yeah.
They have like with extra hands and blah blah blah. I wish they made like some like a deluxe, not like a chase, but like a deluxe version of certain figures that came like with well-made accessories or well-made clothing or well-made like belt. Because I'm pretty sure people who collect figures, wrestling collectors, they would pay $100 for amazingly done,
I can tell you people have. I don't know if you are familiar with this. When Jack Specific had the license of WWE figures like 10 years ago, they would do a chase belt. So it'd be one of
yeah.
500, and they had leather strap with die cast metal plates and medallions on it. And so those would be
Hmm.
like super rare, and they would end up in the secondary market for like $100 and up. So Jack's tried it, but Mattel hasn't tried that route yet.
Mattel is too lazy. They're too lazy. They're even too lazy to change their molds for figures. They're figures who have different like kick pads, and they've been coming out with the same kick pads for 10 years. No one cares about it. And I have to say that I love jazzwares because they're not scared to spend money on. Of course, they're making the whole new line of figures. They're spending money on molds, and like on accessories and stuff like that, and they're not scared, that it's going to be on that figure. I think Mattel was trying to unify the parts so they can use it for like not for one figure but for 10 figures. And that's why they're losing. It's like I feel like some figures are very unified in that sense. They look similar even though in real life they look nothing alike.
That's the good thing for you is it leaves a nice opening for someone like Forbidden Figures to come in there and kick some butt with belts. So I think that
I
works out
have
in your favor.
I have to.
Someone has to. I'm glad it's you. So yeah, I did see on your Instagram, by the way, when you mentioned your 3D sculpting as well. I saw some prints you did of Tiger Mask and Ultimo Dragon. Is that something you might be dipping your toes into as well? Might we ever get Forbidden Figurines, actual figurines?
uh, You're reading my mind. So actually, I'm working on something right now. Hopefully, I'll be able to push it out by summer or something. I mean, obviously, like licensing and all that stuff wouldn't let me to do a lot of, what I want to do. But it's going to be something interesting. And yeah, I've 3D sculpting can get you anywhere. You can do whatever figure you want, but you need to have time for that. And unfortunately, now I don't have as much time because I'm mostly concentrated on belts. So hopefully, if people would stop ordering one day, I can go back to 3D sculpting. I miss 3D sculpting so much. I did the tiger. I don't know.
I was gonna say it's like the worst sales pitch ever is please don't order from me so I can make other things.
Yes, so I can live my life. No, order for me. Order.
Of course,
Please order.
absolutely.
I also did like when I did Drago figure, like I kind of made the whole outfit and his gear, and the kick pads and everything. And recently I made a Mortis figure, so I also went in. I made the head, like I sculpted the head, I sculpted shoulder pads and kick pads and everything. So that's as far as I went so far in terms of sculpting. But I recently I did a class on miniature 3D sculpting because I was for like a week or two I was into like Warhammer all of a sudden, and I was like, oh my god, I'm just gonna sculpt miniatures. I'm gonna sell STL files, and never happened because I started making belts. So so I'm dying for sculpting miniatures. Like I have 3D printed miniatures and I want to paint them, but I don't have time to paint them. And I want to produce more 3D sculpts, but I have to prioritize different now. So for me, it's business now, business first, and then miniatures come last.
Well, you'll get there soon.
Yeah,
It sounds like you're scaling up anyway. Things are going well for the company, so that's great. So yeah, I don't know if you can actually reveal any upcoming titles or belts like that, but can you tease perhaps any championship belts that you're working on that we might be seeing later this year?
I can tell you all.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll take all. Yeah.
Basically, I'm gonna do all New Japan Pro Wrestling belts, all of them, and I'm working on AEW belts right now on their main title and tag 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 team. Ready made TNT. It's right here. It's waiting to be glued on and shipped. Definitely a lot of old school belts, and like NWA, maybe like everybody's asking for NWA television champion title. Of course, that's a must, for me to make, and I'm gonna be working on it. Yeah, I'm gonna be making couple of 1/6 scale belts. So I have orders for that.
I do want to throw my hat in for a request as well. I'd love to see your take on the GHC championship from Noah, the Global Honored Crown. But
Mm-hmm.
I think like the belt I want to see the most is actually 3 belts. I'm dying for the Triple Crown Championship from All Japan Pro Wrestling. I'd love to see your take on that.
I'm
And those are
working on
challenging
it.
belts. You're working on
I'm
those?
working on it. Yes. It's gonna come out in February.
Well, okay. Well, I'm giving you my money right now. I'm getting all those. Yeah, that's amazing. The only way to get those belts before was like those little Kara Pro versions, and they're nice, but they don't really fit my other figures. I cannot wait to see what you're going to do with those.
Yeah, I've been working on Triple Crown for a while. And I probably had the sketch for like 6 months, if not more, right now. But I was trying to push it back to like when I was gonna do New Japan Pro Wrestling belts. So it's all kind of themed together, and like, and maybe I can make like bundles or something for people who want to get like more than one belt. I actually have a couple. Not like I probably should put it like Impact bundle on the website if someone wants to buy all Impact belts, but it's such a hard thing to maintain because I constantly have belts coming out and I have to like shuffle them back and forth. So I usually offer, some discount if you buy two belts, like TNT. If you buy red and black, you're gonna get some money cut. Of course, I have to, because it's fair, right? Triple Crown, I was like, when I looked at it, I was like, it's such a beautiful belt. I have to make it.
Yes.
Most of the belts I make, I'm like, it's such a beautiful belt. I have to make it.
Now, are we talking the three original belts, like the three separate belts, or are you going to do like the New Japan before what we have now?
The You talking about Triple Crown? No, it's the one belt.
Okay, all right. 'Cause I'm the one I'd love to see is the back in the '90s when they had the three separate belts. That's what I'd love to see. So if you're not familiar with those, yeah, please take a look at those because that would be something that'd be just so great to see, and it'd be a unique challenge for sure. Because one of those belts actually has like chains on it also. So
Oh,
yeah, like that's what I want. I
all
would I
right.
would pay good money for those belts. I think everybody else watching would do the same.
I'll take a look. I'm also gonna do like older versions of New Japan Pro Wrestling belts. I have all sorts of belts coming your way.
Awesome. I cannot wait. It's like really legitimately, these are some of the best belts I've ever seen from a customizer. Totally worth the price. And for folks out there who are not familiar with you and are now just learning about you, where can they follow you and where can they more importantly buy some of your belts?
I do have Facebook, and I'm not very active on Facebook, but you can contact me there. There's Forbidden Figurines on Facebook. I'm mostly on Instagram, so it's a Forbidden Figurines on Instagram, and my website is forbiddenfigurines.com. There's chat there. You can ask me questions. I try to respond them pretty quickly usually if it's not on weekends. And you can reach me out like DMs on Instagram. Probably not a good idea because I would go like once a week. I would go through all of them. Uh, so you might have to wait. But probably the best way to contact me would be through my email that's on the website, and you can chat me on my website. So it's probably best two ways to reach out to me if you need something of me. Yeah, but I gotta say I'm not currently taking commissions for anything because I have to figure out the whatever I have now plus subscription is running now and it's running pretty good. So I want to make sure I give enough attention to existing projects, and if I get bored, if I have extra time, I always like to take up on commissions, and it's fun for me. Like I love commissions. Like if people give me like, okay, I want Great Muda, go, and I would just like, you know, accessories and robes and whatever you want. I'll just go for it. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what new belts you've got. I'm excited, especially about the little figures that you're working on too. Cannot wait for that. So, Alyssa, thanks so much. Everybody at home, check out forbiddenfigurines.com. Really do take a look at the stuff. If you're a pro wrestling toy collector, you need these belts in your collection. So, everybody else out there, thank you for watching this video. Stick around because we've got more nerd news today, Toy Fair 2021 coming right up.